Grade 8, English. Page 8, Unit 1, Lesson 1. Exercise 3. Wadi's eating habits. Presenter. In today's program, we're going to listen to two students sharing their eating habits. Let's listen to the first student, Wadi. Wadi, my mum always makes sure that we have healthy food. For every meal, we have some meat or fish and vegetables. I like sugary drinks, but my mum said they can cause some health problems. So I gave them up and I just drink water. I usually drink 8 glasses of water every day. If we eat fast, we can have indigestion. So, I normally take about 20 minutes for my meals. My family has meals together every evening. Obviously, dinner is always the best meal for me. And I always have my meals at the dining table because my mum doesn't like me to eat anywhere else in the house. Page 9, Unit 1, Lesson 1. Exercise 5. La Yong's eating habits. Presenter. Now, we're going to listen to La Yong talking about his eating habits. La Yong, I'm usually hungry between meals. At such times, I have fruit like apples or bananas, but I don't eat junk food like burgers and chips as they can cause obesity. I always drink enough water. I drink 2 liters of water every day. I am a fast eater. I usually finish me meals in less than 10 minutes. I know it's not good for digestion. Although I often eat alone, I love eating with my family as it is enjoyable. Sometimes, I want to eat in the living room watching TV. But, my mum doesn't allow this as I can choke on the food, so I have to have my meals at the dining table. Page 10, Unit 1, Lesson 2. Mummy's World. Hello everyone. Welcome to my blog. In this blog, I share my experiences as a mum. I believe that doing some activities together as a whole family brings some benefits to our children, such as developing a sense of responsibility and unity, developing life skills, etc. This week, I am going to share some of the routine activities of my family. In my family, we have dinner together every day. Having meals together, I can remind my children to eat a variety of food. Thus, they become aware of the importance of having a balanced diet. They can also learn table manners occasionally. Every Saturday, we spend time together at home, and we share the household chores like cleaning the windows, sweeping the floor and doing the dishes. In this way, my children become more responsible and cooperative. On Sundays, we usually engage in outdoor activities like jogging or cycling in the park, and sometimes we do indoor activities, especially when it rains. As a result, my children enjoy doing physical exercise and later realize its value. My family has settled into these regular routines. I don't think it is difficult for your family to get into these routines. I hope you will find them beneficial to your family. Why don't you try them out? Page 12, Unit 1, Lesson 3. Busy Dad. It is a big challenge for my dad to bring me up as a single father. He is always busy with his office work and household chores. The busiest time of the day for him is the morning. He usually gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning and prepares meals for the two of us. He starts his day with a cup of coffee. He often skips his breakfast. However, he boils an egg for me, so I can usually have bread and butter with a boiled egg, and coffee for breakfast. As he doesn't have much time in the mornings, he frequently packs our lunch boxes with rice, thin slices of boiled meat and ketchup. He fries fish occasionally. He hardly ever cooks meat with vegetables for lunch. As soon as the lunch boxes are ready, he works out for a few minutes. Then, he takes a quick shower and gets ready for work. We leave home at 8:15 every morning. He always takes me to school on his electric bike first and then, he heads to his office. Page 14, Unit 1, Lesson 4. Exercise 1. Do Cho Cho's daily work routines. Do Cho Cho is a civil engineer working on a construction site. She works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays. Let's see how she spends a day as a civil engineer. Every day, Do Cho Cho gets up early, has breakfast and leaves for work. When she gets to work, she always puts on a safety jacket, boots and a hard hat. She is always aware of safety at the worksite. She makes sure every worker is wearing their protective clothing. The work begins at 9 a.m. every day. At 9 a.m., she explains the work plan of the day to all the workers. Then, she gets them to start work. After 10 a.m., she has a meeting with her office staff. They usually make a work plan for the next day. At 1 p.m., they all have a break for lunch, and resume their work at 2 p.m. At 3 p.m., she goes to the construction site to inspect their work. She always checks the work done at 5 p.m., and assigns the workers what to do the next day. She often gets home at 6 p.m. She has a shower and enjoys dinner with her family. Then, she does some reading or watches TV and goes to bed. Page 15, Unit 1, Lesson 4. Exercise 2b. The activities of a medical officer. He is a medical officer at the hospital in our own. He usually arrives at the hospital a bit early on his duty day. When he gets there, he always takes over the cases from the medical officer on the previous shift. He and his colleagues normally take physical examinations of patients in the ward and check lab test results of some patients. They also give treatment to necessary patients. He often assists in a surgical procedure in the operation theatre, OT. Moreover, he goes and sees patients at the outpatient department, OPD, for about 2 hours. He attends discussion sessions on continuing medical education, CME, twice a week. After working for about 8 hours, his duty is over and he is ready to hand over the cases to the medical officer on the next shift. Page 15, Unit 1, Lesson 4. Exercise 3a. The daily work routines of our headmaster. My headmaster usually gets to his office at about 8 o'clock. He lives in the school compound, so he usually walks to his office. It takes only a few minutes to get there. He usually works for 8 hours a day, from 8 to 4 o'clock. He holds an assembly every Monday. At the assembly, he often teaches us to be good citizens. Sometimes, he tells us an interesting story from which we can learn moral lessons. He usually does the office work in the morning. He sometimes calls a staff meeting. When the bell rings for lunch break, he normally goes back home for lunch. He occasionally takes a lunch box. He goes round the school mostly in the afternoon. He usually tries to create a healthy, happy environment for students and teachers. He sometimes visits classrooms and meets students and teachers. When he is in our class, some students are afraid of him as he is well known for being strict. Our school is over at 3:30. After all the students and staff leave the school in the evening, he stops working and goes back home.